Aloha, Hawaii Boss podcast crew listening in out there like you always do, but this one's a little bit different. This is your host David Pettijohn, and I'm with the studio director of F45 in Kahala, Jason Aquino, and he's been on our program before. But first, I want to say welcome, Jason.
Yeah, aloha. Right on,
Oh,
guys. Thanks for having me again, David.
sure, and we're having today because it's a little bit different. You know, this isn't exactly our normal Hawaii boss. We go and talk to different bosses, but this is an opportunity. As I've been exploring and we've done some talking too, with your career background and maybe your change to provide health and put that more as a focus into your life. I noticed that too as I was interviewing throughout the pandemic and interviewing people about how they were keeping going, and there was a lot of people that were maintaining their activity throughout the pandemic and actually creating an opportunity. I think some people went both ways. There was a time where they just couch potato in the house, and so there's got to be some recovery from that. Or there's some that really took this advantage when they had more time. Maybe they're off work and they're like, I can't sit here in the house. I got to get out, and they started to find some health. And so throughout that time, I've been exploring myself. I've had some success. I've had some, it's nice when you're in Hawaii that there's always these outdoor activities. And so I've had some success, but I'm looking for a more progressive, more sustained success where F45, I think, as I've began to explore it and try to see if it's right for me. And I think it is because it's that functional fitness that I'm trying to obtain that helps the foundation for the other stuff I'm doing, because I like to bodyboard. I'd like to ultimately, I want to try and get my run game back. I used to be in the military. I was airborne, and I would run all over the place, and that's a long time, and maybe I'm never going to get back those glory days or whatever. But and that's not what I'm really looking for. It's just when I'm healthy and my weight is good, and my cardio feels good, and I've got the ability to move and get up off the ground and get up out of the chair without problems and move around comfortably in the world. It makes a world of difference. You don't have that weight of literal that extra stuff hanging over you. It helps in so many facets, and so that's why I decided to focus on these. And F45 has some great programs, and that's why I came to you, Jason, to kind of say, okay, I'm the new guy. I'm starting out, and there's opportunity for me. I maybe have to go 4 to 5 times a week, but it's a 45-minute format. But then you also do some other things to help a person come along. So a person like me, what are some opportunities right now to be able to jump in and say, let's try health for a change.
Yeah. Yeah. We take it back to, obviously COVID and the struggles of everybody being locked down in the house. And, I think the online presence of workouts at home, grew tremendously during that time.
Right. It's good, but that's not the same though. I think people realize it too, and so that's why I like this too, that we're getting back together. So
yeah, exactly. Because I bring that up because the whole COVID-15, everybody gained like 15 pounds, and then it 2 months to slow the spread went on to almost two years, and now it's COVID-20. So,
right.
But I get a lot of people coming in and wanting to try out F45. To hear a lot about it. And they're willing to just, start something fresh, something new.
Right.
They're bored of working out at home. And obviously they tried surfing. I think during COVID was probably the most crowded our surfing lineups have ever been.
That's right. That's right.
The sales at Costco's Wave Storms were sold out during that time. But, but yeah, what it looks like for us, and especially for me, because I handle everybody that comes in, we do a consultation with each person that's interested in just seeing what the program is all about.
Sure.
Said before, we give a week trial because we feel that it gives them a good idea of what we have to offer within that week's time.
Right.
So,
and I can say I've been through that week process, and I was sold before I even did the week. But you could jump right in, and they're real helpful. With the way that the coaches are there at right there helping me to get through it, and I don't have to do a lot of thinking. Like I said, everything was set up. So from my perspective, that really was really get a good vibe for what the studio was like.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, we love having you there. You definitely push yourself all the time. So I'm excited for the challenge that's coming up and the changes you're going to make.
Yeah, and so that's what's exciting is we're hopeful that over this period of time, and that's why it's a little different than our normal Hawaii Boss thing. Where as we maybe do these little segments, trying to figure out maybe again work-life balance. We're trying to figure out what it means. We've got these vocational things. We all know we got to work, but then we to maintain this body and our sort of mental health and all this stuff, the physical part, we really have to pay attention to. So excited about that, and yeah, this challenge that's about ready to go on. I'm a little nervous, but I'm in for the in for the penny, in for the pound. If I want change, I'm going to have to sort of jump in. But it sounds like it's a real sort of structured situation. Tell me how this challenge that started today, I guess.
Yeah, it started today.
Mm-hmm.
So with the challenge, it's 8 weeks, and we have a coach, and you're under Coach Kyle, so
Right.
we can get on here one day. So each coach is going to take a team of members and really dive into number one, holding the members accountable for the challenge, making sure you're training consistency is key in the challenge. So making sure at least 4 to 5 days a week of training.
Mm-hmm.
And then we dive into probably one of the hardest parts for everybody is the nutrition side, the diet. It's everything. The work is actually done outside of the gym. It's what you put into your body, and and then how much rest you're having and all that stuff, and the supplements that you're taking.
No more trips to McDonald's.
Nope.
We're not going to McDonald's anymore. Is ketchup allowed? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, I know sometimes people get with nutrition, but that's really, you can do all the exercise in the world, but this component about nutrition, that's a nice thing that you offer to be able to have that discussion, because really I think that's where a lot of frustration happens with folks is like, I work on this exercising and I can't get the weight where I want it to. I can't shape it the way I want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. We have a lot of longstanding members who've been with us, through all the different challenges that we've had here and held at F45. But they'll go, it's not like a yo-yo type of diet thing. It's they're training consistently, but when they kind of go off their nutrition and maybe splurge on the desserts and maybe a little bit too much alcohol, partying and all that stuff, you're definitely not going to see as much drastic change to your health.
Yeah, that catches up. It's like you're competing against yourself by putting this, if you're fueling the wrong fuel, putting in the wrong stuff at the wrong time. So there's some thought that goes into it. Some people are like, oh, well, I can't do any of the cooking myself. It takes so much time. But there's some ways I think through the group you learn. I've learned that before. I've been in different nutrition groups before. Maybe they kind of share their wealth a little bit in a real judgment-free type of situation. It feels like it with Kyle,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, we all struggle with that, but I think I know the benefit of this is to have that group environment where we can, all the members and plus the coaches are there to help you, right? And so you have the accountability, but you also, it's a network of people who are, all in this together. You're all buying into it, and you're committed for that 8 weeks to better your lifestyle as far as nutrition and training. And what we're hoping out of this is that you'll take a lot of the things you've learned throughout the challenge and just continue it in life, because like anything, people want to just lose the quick 20 pounds and maybe go through a season of training. But as you know, to keep those pounds off as we get older, we have to develop those habits, those healthy eating habits, as far as like managing our time as well, and making sure that we have the time to train, right? So it's like 45 minutes. It's like, it's easy, it's hard work, but everybody has 45 minutes out of their day. There's
absolutely no excuse. Yeah, that's when a lot of excuse for exercise for me has been is like, okay, I get a gym membership, okay, and then if you want the gym membership, then you want some help with trying to put a plan together. Then you got to go get a coach,
right,
and then and maybe there's a nutrition plan that you can get too, and that's a little bit over here, And so and then you're trying to figure out all that yourself when this is sort of like, lockstep for you. It's sort of built like almost like, you hear these MMA, you hear about a camp, right? Where it's kind of like, it's a dedicated period during this time where you're going to expect, from this point, you may not, maybe coming into the camp, you should be at this. And for here, it sounds like at any level you can come in. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any level. Elite level or just somebody just straight off the street. And I like the way you said that about the camp, 8 weeks. and you see, say like your favorite UFC fighter getting ready for his fight, you'll see a drastic change from where he was pre-fight to weigh-ins, right? You're like, man,
Right.
that guy's just fully shrunk. Obviously, they're cutting tons of weight,
Right.
but it's the same idea where you're just it's a mindset thing. You're going to grow your mindset. You're going to strengthen yourself. You're going to build confidence. So it goes beyond just the transformation of the body, but ultimately transformation of your health, a healthy mindset, and just overall, like, just a better lifestyle.
Yeah, and it feels like it's a practice of health, and you don't have to be in this extreme set where, like you said, we're not a camp like a UFC fighter or anything like that.
Right,
it's that, but you begin to get familiar with the tools that a person like that, or anyone who's focused in on their, building and refining and practicing healthy habits, they're going to need these tools anyway. How do you fuel your body appropriately, how soon before or after exercise, how much rest do you need, those kind of things. So a lot of those things, people don't think of that as health. People are staying up late, they're on computers, and then they're eating when they can. They're sort of even out of their body. They're just so far in their head that their body is somewhere else, and they don't, they can't, it's like they don't know who they are. They're not attached to their body, and so then the body changes and does things, and then you wake up one day and realize, oh, listen, this is the body I own. I got to do something about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. And so I'm being honest here, just turned 49. So 2022 for me, as I'm ramping up to 50, there's different options. I can work on my health, or I can, save up for a Harley Davidson. I think that's what happens pretty soon after this is that, I gotta get a Harley and, start, join, get a leather vest, and, I can let the belly go out a little bit. But I think, I think, especially here in Hawaii, there's so many opportunities for a healthy outdoor lifestyle. But if you have this core strength, I think that's the piece where I'm coming for, is this core strength. So these different types of activities that it's functional fitness. It's not like, let's see what kind of max I can get on my bench press and how deep on my squat. We're not Olympic. There's Olympic weights and different things. We're not doing Olympic style lifting and things. It's a more a core, a fundamental movement type thing. So tell us about, this at the beginning of this transformation, there's some sort of a test or assessment that I'm supposed to take. I'm really anxious about it.
Yeah, that's coming up soon for you. We just had one done this past Saturday, and what it's called, basically it's part of the challenge. And what we do is we put everybody through. If you've ever done CrossFit, it's like the AMRAP is as many reps as you can do as possible within a certain period of time.
Right, and then move on to the next, thing. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got we got it up where there's 10 exercises that you have to do within 45 seconds. That's your time frame to accomplish as many reps as possible for each exercise. So we're talking stuff like rowing, on the rowing machine. You're just going to go, pretty much ham on that thing as fast as you can go,
right?
And try to get as much meters. And there's targeted either reps or targeted time that we're looking for. Pull-ups, like strict pull-ups. How many strict pull-ups can you do within the 45 seconds?
Okay.
And then in between exercises, there's a 15-second rest. But really, that rest is just you getting.
If you can call it rest, you're moving. You're dragging yourself to the next station.
Yeah. So it's been great. I mean, I just talked to one of the members who did it on Saturday, and she was so pumped. She's like, I want to do it again because it's like you're competing with yourself. You're not competing with anybody else. And the reason why we do it before the challenge is so that you can see where your starting point is. You may only be able to do 5 pull-ups at the beginning of the challenge, but at the end of 8 weeks, I mean, you're going to see a lot of not only physical change, but see physical strength as far as how many your endurance and how much strength you've built. So
for sure. So that's really the goal. That's a good assessment tool that you use. Is there anything else you use in the gym if you weren't having this challenge? What are some other tools you use to because I want to see if I'm making progress maybe on a more, instead of 8 weeks, is there I can evaluate sooner? What are some? I know I forget the name of that assessment.
Oh yeah, we have an in-body scan, which is
okay.
I use this so what happens if somebody's interested in coming in to do a trial? They'll connect with me, or we do a lot of referrals. So a lot of our members will say, hey, I got my friend Scotty wants to come in and try you out, so Scott will reach out to me, or I'll reach out to him, and then we'll assess, his schedule, kind of look at the best time for him, because we have classes from 5 a.m. all the way to 6:45 p.m. So
Yeah, that's another thing I can attest. That's been great for me. If my schedule kind of flips around a little bit, I can hit the mornings early, or then if something happens, and I can hit the evening ones. And there's just a real 4 or 5. Usually, again, some of the for the beginner ones, a lot of other gyms, it's like you got to go to this one time at 6 o'clock,
Right.
and you can't, and then it's like, well, if I can't do that one, then I can't even, but this one, anytime any of those times are available, you sign up, and it's just easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I mean, it is one of the harder workouts out there, as far as like, group classes, so to speak, like in any type of training. But no matter what fitness level you're at, don't let that discourage you, because you can come in and basically, like we always say, just move the body your first time. Don't expect to go through the whole thing. If you get through halfway, that's great, because if you're new to training, that's to be expected. You're going to come in, you're going to do the work, and we can always modify the exercises for you, so that, at least you're kind of going through it and getting the blood pumping, getting the sweat on. And then we'll take you from that point A, and then walk you along throughout your journey. And what we do is, so I meet with every person that comes through. We do a consultation, ask them what their goals are, number one, and then if they say, actually, I just had a text with some woman that's coming in tomorrow at 5 a.m. And I said, what are your goals for training? What are you looking to achieve? And she just said, I have a gym membership. I'm at this gym, but number one, it's inconvenient. And when I'm there, I'm not motivated. So I need something that'll push me past that, what I can do myself. And then also, she's looking to have more energy and have more strength, because she's working constantly. So that's perfect. That's a great answer. When we get her in, we're going to, assess her. And how we assess her is we do an in-body scan. So we have this in-body scan. And what that does is it reads your skeletal muscle mass, your percentage of your body fat. Of course, it measures your weight and all of that, but it gets you to the point where we print that out, we take a look at it, and I say, okay, this is your starting point right here, okay? And you're going to do the week trial. Obviously, a week is not enough for major change. It's going to be consistent in training. But if you do commit and you like the program and you want to continue on to see what you can achieve, then you commit to membership, then we'll do this again, next month.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I'll table it. I'll give them a printout of that, and then we'll go on from there. And so we've had amazing success. In fact, one of my newest members, his name is JV. He's about 27. He's a tech guy working remotely, and just kind of, he's a slim guy, but he was looking to put on more muscle. Right?
Sure.
And have more endurance, because he wasn't doing too much. So a month out, we just did a body scan with him today. In just a month of training, he's been consistent. He gained 5 pounds of weight. So yeah, I think it was 162. He measured at 167. But if you look at him, it's not like he gained any fat. And what the in-body scan does is it shows you the growth of your muscle mass and how much body fat you burned. So in a month's time, he gained 5 pounds of muscle. And then he burned, I think, 4% of body fat. Crazy.
Yeah, and that's immediate. Yeah, it's immediate results.
Yeah.
And it's different for everybody, and they have different goals. Like, for me, example, I've got, I'm working at, I'm looking at probably about 250 pounds right now, and I've vacillated back and forth all the way up to 315 at different points in my life, So different bodies, different, shapes, that, different goals, your nutrition might be different for someone who's trying to gain weight, and, what you're different, you might be taking in more fat just to, help, push that, along. So, but for me, then, my nutrition and what it looks like and how much calories I need, and what kind of, is it carbohydrates, protein versus, and try to figure out all that balance. And I think sometimes it gets confusing for people, but it sounds like, again, through the discussions and things, people can get a good idea of, is there a way that we track the meal intake and things like that? Each coach has a different way, or?
Yeah, each coach has a different way and expertise about that. But, it just really depends if you want to track your calories, your macros. And I know Coach Kyle will go over that with you. because he's big on that. And he's also really big on what type of supplements you're taking. I mean, because obviously as you build muscle, muscle burns fat. So we want to make sure that during our strength days and anytime you do an exhaustive workout, you're going to want to make sure that you have your protein, right? So you got to feed the muscles. So, he's going to preach about, guys, got to get your protein, and it's got to be, within that hour window,
right?
Feed the muscle. So,
yeah,
it's not like,
Yeah, I've heard that where people are, they're working out like crazy and they're not building it all because they're not feeding their body right, and so then it can't repair. If it doesn't have the right macronutrients. So you say there's protein and carbohydrates, and what's the other one is. Anyway, I'm still learning, but yeah, as you put all this sort of this fuel the body to make sure that whatever your goals are, grow, or you want to lose fat, then there's a certain way you can evaluate that. And yes, so go ahead.
Oh no, so I mean that's basically the number one thing we do for when somebody comes in first time.
Okay.
Set them for their classes, have them come in. And so we make sure also if you have any injuries or any underlying health issues, we want to make sure that, myself and the coaches know where each person is at.
Okay. So if they want to get a hold of you, Coach, I know you lead some of the programs, but there's a bunch of other coaches out there that are helping and leading. Like again, my guy's Kyle, but during the exercise, there's different guys. There's Zane and some different folks over there, right? Yeah. And so, for a new person coming in and say, okay, I accepted the week is my pro week, or my free evaluation week is over, and now I'm all in. What would you like to see from me as far as attendance in the during this next week of the challenge?
I mean, in the challenge we say, hey, at least 3 times a week, but I feel like the more consistent you can be, especially during something like this, that the better results you're going to have. And honestly, I think 5 days a week is perfect because the way the program is laid out, you're going to have 3 days of more cardio, high interval training, and then Tuesday and Thursday it's going to be more strength and resistance. So
okay,
you kind of going back to back, take the weekends off to rest, or however you want to mix it up. But I feel the more consistent you are with your training, the better results you're going to have.
Yeah, if you're off a week, on a week, that's going to be, you're not going to see the same kind of progress, because you just kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing.
Exactly. We have a membership. So we have different levels of membership. We have, of course, the unlimited, and then we have a 3-day a week or a 2-day a week. But if somebody comes in and off the streets and they're like, I want to lose so much weight, but I'm only going to commit to 2 days a week, you're not going to see that much change,
right?
Unless they're putting the work outside. They're doing something else, cross training here at the gym, or something.
Yeah, this may just be a supplemental for them, or
Right. And that's fine. So it's just kind of diving into what that person is going to be doing outside if they're not training here consistently. But yeah,
okay,
4 to 5 times a week would be sufficient.
All right. Well, I'm excited to get started. Like I said, a little nervous for the playoffs, as they call it, to see, but I do want to get a good baseline, so that when this is at the end of the 8 weeks and we do this again, even if it's moderate, improvement, that's going to be improvement. And I've seen that too. Maybe on day 1 my exercise isn't, it's not so hot, but within a week or two, things are feeling a little bit more natural. You get the flow of how things work in the gym. Your 45 minutes, the warm up, the get going, and you move through your exercises, and within 45 minutes having that, so that rush of having a great workout. It's awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to it every day, except for the weekends. I take the weekends off, but
sure,
just about it, just like a reset, and the endorphins kick in,
right? And
you feel like you accomplished something. And it's not that much time, 45 minutes. You're in and you're out. You're going to feel exhausted, but after that, your body will recover, and then you're able to do other things outside of the gym too,
right?
Like surfing or
right. Well, and jiu-jitsu, which is your forte as well. So, Yeah, so, well, hey, I'm excited to see what from week to week as we check back in and how things are going. I think I need to go in and get an in scan and then, well, this assessment that's coming up for me, and uh,
Yeah.
hopefully I don't die. You know, everyone's worried about dying, you know, from too much exercise, but uh, I
Yeah.
think I'm going to be okay. Yeah, well, I'll think I'll be okay, and no matter how ugly it looks at the beginning, again, practice makes perfect.
Exactly. But I see
Right.
you. I see you on the floor. I see you putting that work.
Yeah,
Those
some days
you
I'm up
guys.
and
When's the hammer?
well, yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, it's the consistency though. That's the thing too. And you know, and there's people coming, you know, still finishing up or getting over COVID, and some of that's been weighing on people's, you know, chests and lungs, and things aren't quite the same as much anymore. So, and I've been able to
Right.
modify and you know, when like I say, hey, I can only do half today because you know my lungs aren't gonna be able to make it the rest of the way. Or but then you guys, yeah, you guys are real sensitive to all that, and I think it's been, you know, just a real safe environment. So you know, I'm excited to keep going and see some progress myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I can definitely say it's a very encouraging environment for
Hmm.
each and every person, you know. And even if you're the competitive type, we got people in here that we got moms in here who are just like, whoa, they're like,
Yeah, listen, I had a lady who looked like she could be my mother,
yeah,
just running circles around me, outpacing. I'm like, you guys are my idols. I don't know what, you know.
yeah,
They said, well, we've been working on this for a little while, and I said, well, you know, I've got my work cut out for me. But again, it gives hope that there's, you know, there's this, you know, with a bit of consistency and also some help from some friends down at the F45 in Kahala that you know, maybe we can make it go.
yeah,
Right
absolutely.
on, right on. Well, Jason, again, thanks for your time. I'll call you Coach Jason for me as we make some progress here.
Yeah, let's do
And
it.
all right, any last, you know, parting words? What's your you know, I saw the coaches, they kind of have a theme or something that, you know, that really, and it changes from time to time, something that resonates, but something that's motivating you now and that's you know, keeps you at the top of your game.
Yeah, I mean, and this came from a four-time world champion jiu-jitsu guy, Guy Mendez, and I use this pretty much for everything in life, and it's simple as what a quote from him that he told me was consistency is key, and it's simple. It's a simple thing to remember, but I mean, it goes with everything, with your work, with relationships, you know,
Right,
like, you know, if you want a healthy relationship, you gotta keep that thing watered, right? I mean,
right.
so
You got
like
to be there.
you gotta be there and you gotta be
Right.
consistent with your kids. So
Hmm.
same thing in the gym, just keeping it consistent. And one more thing is just to not only keep it consistent, but just do it. You know, just not the whole Nike slogan, but
Right, right. It's
meaning like just do what you can, and then you'll be amazed down the road from being consistent how much more you can do. And when you look back at your journey, you're gonna just be amazed. So
right,
I would just say, just if you want to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat,
right.
do it, make a commitment, and then you're gonna look back, and you're gonna blow yourself away. You know,
Yeah.
so
Well, awesome. Well, I hope that's true for me, and we're going to test out F45 and see if we can make
yeah.
something, some of this baker's son over here. See if we can.
Oh, I don't see anything.
But yeah, no. Hey, Jason, again, mahalo for everything, and until next week, aloha.